friends, welcome back to my home. Today we have a mega extreme organizing project. I know, those are all the words that fly around YouTube, but the YouTube algorithm loves that. And so if you're looking for organizing inspiration, those are some words that you might want to search in looking for videos like this. So today we are going to be organizing an area, a space that probably has the most detail in our home. Give you a little backstory. If you're brand new here, we live in an old farmhouse. And so there is not much closet space. There's just not much storage at all. It's very limited. And we also homeschool. We have 3 daughters who are very creative, have lots of hobbies. They're hitting ages where they love to do a lot of creations. So we need a space dedicated to that. I originally had a lot of this stuff in a office closet space. You all have seen that before if you've watched for a long time, but we really needed to designate that space just to office space for my husband and I. So we redid a little bit of that. We're working on that. I don't know if I'll show that later in this video or if I'll show it in my next video because we're doing a lot of reorganization of our home right now. It's been a while since I've done that and it just needs to happen. So one thing that we did do is we brought some new furniture into this space. This is what we designate as our playroom kind of area, but now it's doubling as a homeschool room. And we just have a lot to tackle today. So I'm gonna flip the camera around to show you guys the layout, and then we are going to dig in to all the organization that we have. So walking in from the hallway in the upstairs of our house, this door kind of comes at an angle, so does this room as you enter in. We have put a new set of these cube shelves. These have come and gone in our house. I just got these at Target. I can leave them linked below. We've had different sets of them through the years and they're inexpensive enough that we can pass them on to somebody else, or I can sell them, or if they fall apart, we can replace them, that sort of thing. And we just needed some serious shelving space in this room for books and other homeschool materials and other toys and things like that. Over in this little nook, I have these fun little shelves. They were from the Target dollar spot at some point. I have a fun purpose for these that I can't wait to show you all. Below that, we have the little metal IKEA drawer set that was underneath of our desk that was in the closet desk setup. But we don't need it down there anymore, so we are going to use it up here. We have this fun antique retro looking rattan wall hanging thing. I don't really know what I'm gonna put in that. I just think it's super cute. We've used it in different areas of the girls' areas before. This is our Lego cart setup. I did a couple of the drawers I did reserve for something else, so we'll get there, but this holds the bulk of our Legos. We are a huge Lego family and we love Legos. I build Legos as well with the girls. Above that, these art pieces have been in this space in this room for some time. And then over here, we have the desk space, and I will get into more of this as we go along. We have a few things to put on the wall, so I think that's where I'm gonna get started. So we're gonna take a break from all the organizing today to tell you about today's video sponsor, and that is DREO. We are loving our DREO poly fan. As most of you know, we have some outdoor spaces that we really love being in. We have 2 screened-in porches and a patio area. And one thing that we're always concerned about is airflow. So having a really good, strong, high airflow fan in those spaces is very important to us. To be honest, with DREO, I was actually looking for a product like this and they so happened to find me. And I'm so glad that they did because this fits my needs perfectly. So not only does the DREO fan have great, strong wind power, it's also a smart fan, which is really neat. I love smart products. Of course, you all have seen me use lots of them in my home, but this one I can adjust the fan's speed and range through the app to where I can kind of adjust it to the temperature of the room, what the day is like, and so forth and so on. Not only is DREO very useful and obviously something that we are appreciating a lot in these warmer months, but it's also very aesthetically pleasing. It has a nice sleek look which of course I really like that sitting in my home, and I feel like it can blend in seamlessly with my decor. DREO does offer a variety of different types of fans to choose from. They are a best-selling brand on Amazon. You can check out their 502 fan and their 513 fan as well. So in these warmer summer months, if you are looking for a great way to cool down, check out the information in the description box below. I know that you will love DREO as much as we do. If you all watch my videos often, then you know a lot of times I am trying to hide a lot of my storage, you know, really mask it and make it very aesthetic and hidden. Well, this room and this project, I kind of took a completely opposite approach, and that is to bring things out that really inspires. So this space is obviously meant to be a very creative space for my daughters. And so I wanted things to be sitting out that would inspire them. A lot of times they forget about some of the things they have if it's all tucked away. So if they can see things like their paint or beads or things that would inspire them to get that project out, I think if it's just right in front of them, they are more likely to remember that they have that activity that they can do. One of those ways to really bring their things in front of them, bring their artwork to the surface, is I gave them each one of these tack boards. These are super inexpensive. They're from Walmart. I'll leave as much things as I can linked below. And they each can decorate this with either artwork they've made, make collages of things that they think are pretty, and just have a lot of fun with it. And since I actually have put all of this together, they've already been very busily decorating these and making them their own little personalities, which I think is really cute. And I told them that I can at random take photos of what they have on their tack boards, and then we can save that picture forever and they'll remember what their tack board looked like at different times. Above this tack board area, we have all of these plants. Most of them are actually my daughter's, my oldest daughter's plants. She loves taking care of them, and I wanted to make the one that's really long and viney work right above the tack boards just to bring in some more greenery. As I've shared recently, I'm super big on making spaces in my home feel cozy and just very inviting, and houseplants always does that for me for sure. So to go along with the idea of bringing things out visually to inspire, I decided to go ahead and take some of these smooth mason jars. That's what they're called. They're called smooth mason jars. They don't really have any designs on the outside of them, so you can really clearly see what is inside of them. And then I'm using these plastic lids from Amazon. They are pretty simple to open and close, and I wanted something that the girls would be able to access very easily. Where I do love using metal lids that work on mason jars as well, but they have a stronger seal and they aren't quite as easy to open. So these plastic ones are a bit easier to open, and obviously we're not sealing food inside these jars, so they work out perfectly. I also took this set of beads, and I know some of you might be wondering why in the world I am taking these beads out of this organizer and putting them in this jar. Well, I actually have a lot of other beads. The girls have beads that we like to use, and we have needed a organizer. And these are pony beads. They're going to get mixed up pretty easily anyhow. And so I just decided, why not give them a fun jar of beads that are out so that they can remember, oh yeah, we have these beads and we can stick them on pipe cleaners, or we can glue them to paper, or we can make bracelets, and just kind of sparking that creativity side with the beads. I also did a jar with beads that were letters, because they like to make bracelets for friends and family with names and little sayings and I love you on them. And so all of that I put into the jars. The other thing I added to the jars is a few learning tools. Like I mentioned, we do homeschool, so some counters and some shapes I put in there as well. And then as a fun little homage to our Lego love in our house, I took a bunch of our minifigures and put them into that jar. The girls thought that was a pretty fun idea, and just reminds them, like my one daughter said, that they can decide what they're gonna build for that minifigure. Do they need a house? Do they need a police station? Kind of triggers, again, more creativity. So these two little shelves in this corner, I was not planning to use for this, but the Play-Doh set that we recently bought, we needed another new set of Play-Doh stuff. We haven't had some actually in a couple of years, besides like some homemade Play-Doh and a few containers here and there, but I needed like cookie cutters, the whole package deal once again. So we found this set, I can leave it linked below, and each cookie cutter or Play-Doh cutter had a hole in the middle of it. And these little shelves were from the dollar spot at Target, or I should say, I don't even know, nothing's a dollar anymore, right guys? But that area right when you walk into the door at Target, and I've actually had them for a couple of years now. We used them above our play kitchen at one point in time, and I realized how it would be perfect to store the Play-Doh cutters on the pegs, since they have this little round hole in every single one. A few of them are just an outline so they can hang on there perfectly, and then store the Play-Doh on top. So that was a highlight for the girls when they walked in this room, was to see those Play-Doh pieces up there, and obviously that is another visual reminder of an activity that they have. So this is not our entire library. I actually store a lot of our books in our couch. I've shared that before. We have a lot of storage in the base of our one sectional. So we store a lot of books that we don't reach for quite as often. These are a lot of handbooks that I use for homeschooling, science-based books, things like that. And then also just like picture books that we sit and read fairly often. So that is what I'm putting on this shelf. And you guys, I have a new love. It is these smart light bulbs from Amazon. You can make them any color you want. You can make them as soft or as bright as you want. I've been putting them in different places of our house. And at the end, you'll get to see the nighttime cozy feels with this room. I wanted to set that up so in the evening, as they're winding down, they can just feel so drawn to this space, and it just makes it extra special. So those light bulbs are super cool, not sponsored, but I've been really loving them. Next, we needed some organization again for our homeschool curriculum, essentially kind of like locker space, where each girl has space to put the book she's currently reading, the assignments she's currently working on, our science papers, science projects that we're working on. Obviously, they're curriculum books for mathematics and language arts and other subjects that they are learning. So I pulled, again, these cardboard magazine organizers. I have used these in the past. I got another pack from Amazon. They come in packs of 12. They're super inexpensive for this amount of magazine organizers, and honestly, they work very, very well. I like the way they look. They kind of give a natural feel with that brown cardboard, and they're just so great. I can't say enough good things about them when you're thinking of budget organization. They are definitely the ticket for something that you want to organize in a very inexpensive way. Below that section, I went ahead and put baskets of toys. I'll show you a little bit more in detail at the end whenever I'm doing the walkthrough of this room, but I wanted them nice and low so that younger kids, when the girls have friends over, can access them. And of course, I want to make sure that all of this stuff is accessible for my daughters. I had this cute little caddy, and something that my girls are so into right now is making cards for people. So I got a nice big pack of just envelopes and cards, put all the little supplies they might need for paper crafting in that little caddy so they can pull it out and set it on the desk and go to work at making their little cards for the people that they love in life. And we have this big area, like I said, for our Legos, but I decided to take 4 drawers out of this and designate it for paper storage. Obviously, as you can see from all the things we have in this room, they love paper crafting. They love making things out of paper. So having an easy way to get to that by pulling those drawers out was really convenient. Next, I'm gonna assemble our art cart. I've done versions of this in the past. This cart you might recognize was under my desk at one point in time with paper crafting stuff, because I also enjoy journaling and paper crafting. But I decided with our new desk setup downstairs, I didn't really need this. And I'm going to just make this into an art cart. So the name says it all. We've got markers, and colored pencils are one of their favorite ways right now to color and create art. So we got a good pencil sharpener to keep that rolling for them. But we've got paint, which is washable, by the way, guys. And tape is a really big highlight right now. They love taping things together. And highlighters and glue, all the things you would need to create your artistic designs. Got scissors, random markers, little stamps, just all the things that I can pack into this cart, and they can wheel it out and put it where they need to in the room as they are creating. I wanted to designate this little drawer set to different types of projects. I feel like having everything you need in one little area for a project or an interest at the moment is super helpful. I'll go into detail here in a minute of what all is in this, but I just took these really cheap organizers from Walmart, drawer organizers, and they fit into this IKEA drawer set really easily. I am just so happy with how everything has been able to fit in here, and we even have some extra wiggle room. So up here on the top, I changed a few things around over here. On the end, I thought I was gonna do like my teacher books and some stuff like that, but discovered that we needed a little more space for some of the girls' things, so I rearranged, put things in different places. So up here on the top, I just have my homeschool log and some things like that in this bin. This bin is currently empty actually. And then this one here has a resin project that I want to do with my oldest daughter. So all the stuff we need for that. This has my hot glue gun and I think some jute string. And then this here actually just has some learning tools in it. Things like fractions and a few extra of the counting blocks and the clock and just those sorts of things. Basically stuff that the girls really wouldn't need to be getting into. That was my goal with putting the stuff up here, that they don't have anything that they would want and wouldn't be able to reach. So obviously you saw the books, how everything is laid out for the girls with their homeschool curriculum in these brown magazine file folders. And down here we just have toys. The girls kind of helped me divide some of this out. This one here is sort of random toys, but also some make-believe stuff that is like a doctor kit and things like that. This here has their baby doll stuff in it. This is like cooking and play kitchen. And then you saw me packing up this little stationery kit for them. This here has like bags and purses and wallets. Since we are a girly household, gotta have all those things. Down here, I just have some extra Lego base plates. I thought they fit in there really nicely instead of taking up space on top of the Lego cart. And then I'll show you the poles to this. This is actually an indoor sort of tent system. This is a sheet that goes over it to make a little tent, and then this is some of the components for it. But we have the bigger poles behind the door over there. I'll show you that in a minute. This is empty, so I'm always happy when we've got a little extra wiggle room for sure. And then here is a sing-along. It's like a little kit that has books and a thing that sings and reads to them. Actually reads the books to them, which is really cool. This has a couple extra things, like we've got some Nerf stuff in here. I think there's some Calico Critters stuff in here, and then walkie-talkies. So just added little kits, kind of. The barn and the animals there. And then over here you saw the Play-Doh setup. The girls are so excited about that. That was a huge highlight for them for sure. And then here is headphones. They don't use these super often, but sometimes we've got some videos they need to watch for their curriculum. And so having those on hand is great. Same with this little whiteboard. Sometimes I use it for certain lessons in their curriculum. And then these are smaller reading books. These we will actually be through pretty soon, and I can use this basket for something different, but for the moment they're just an awkward size. I thought they would work great laying right there. And then we have a lot of wiggle room, growing space in these. There's lots of empty space for anything extra, but just keeping kits or like play sets, that's probably the best word, play sets together. So this is Scribble Scrubbies. They have these little markers and you can color on them. They're from Crayola. And then they have these little brushes where you scrub them down and you get to do it all over again. And right now the girls are really into playing with these. We have these, I can't remember what they're called, but they're like a building block. They're obviously not Lego, but I can't remember what they're called. If you guys can remember, let me know in the comments. But you can get all kinds of colors and this is a really big deal. I know some people are super into it. So the girls have kind of played around with it, haven't gotten super into it yet. And then down here we've got our extra beading stuff that is not in the jars up on the desk. And we have some room for different beads. We like to go to Hobby Lobby and actually pick out specific strings of beads. This here is for the perler beads that we will be adding to. But the reason I say that is because the girls want some bigger, I just ordered them yesterday. They want some bigger plates to make designs on. So they're gonna go back here. And then we have these and obviously some more room on this side. And I just use these very cheap, you know, dividers as far as like in these drawers, just these little guys you get from Walmart. So we gotta have pipe cleaners. They're an absolute favorite in our house. Just extra crafty stuff that's not in the jars or in the art cart. Here is an entire set of stuff. These markers, they are only allowed to use with this project because these are permanent markers. And obviously you gotta be careful with that. But if you guys remember Shrinky Dinks, well, guess what? Hobby Lobby has them again. So if it's something you wanna get into with your kids, they are really fun. Basically it's like a certain type of plastic sheet. You can see here, you draw on it, you put it in the oven and it shrinks down and makes a small little art piece, which is super fun. So that all goes together. And then we have our clipboards down here. This is because I do our homeschool stuff sometimes outside. Sometimes we're on the go, we go somewhere just to have something to be able to write on. And they do use these in play just for pretend. Okay, so turning around from this side of the room, and we did think of a use for this. The girls do really enjoy making cards, like I said. And so this is a holding place for cards that are meant for somebody. So it'll be a great little spot for them to keep their cards. And then we have the Lego cart along with the paper storage. I think this works out super well to combine these two things, the paper and the Legos. And the Legos right now are not very organized. We've gone through phases of organizing them. It's just a whole commitment to spend a day or even 2 days organizing them. So that may be a project for a different time, but they're at least put away. They're at least tucked away. This set of drawers is my oldest daughter's. I'm not gonna go into it just for her own privacy's sake, but she does enjoy sewing, and she has a bin down here that has more sewing stuff, a few things tucked under there that are hers. So we're gonna go up here to this side, and obviously you guys are gonna be able to see the nighttime views with this. It is so cute. I put twinkle lights through all of this, and I'll show you guys at the end what it looks like with the nighttime views. It's so, so cute. The girls are so excited about these cork boards. They cannot wait to decorate them themselves, put pictures up and little sayings and art pieces. And I told them that once they fill it up, an idea we could do is I can take a photo of their individual corkboard and then they can empty it off and they can fill it again. So just an idea if you have kids that enjoy making collages and seeing their art pieces. So here we've got all the jars. So we've got the perler beads and just all of the beading beads, the learning tools. I just love this idea of being able to be visually inspired by seeing the things that you can create with. So over here, we've got this lamp. This was a lamp from Walmart. The girls actually chose this lamp. I let them pick it. They liked the green glass. And we have a essential oil diffuser here. This crate my grandfather made, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use it. Initially, I had put it in the bottom of the bookshelf over there, found another use for that spot, but then I realized, oh, I was hoping to find something to put the wet wipes in, and it fits perfect. So this is going to be our little wet wipe holder, and this is a must for them to be able to clean up their own art explosions. So having this up here is perfect. We've got extra tacks and a pencil sharpener because the girls love using their colored pencils. Like I said, over here behind the door, we have got, this is the poles I was telling you about that they use for building tents. I don't know if you can actually see it. I actually picked it up at a yard sale. It wasn't even $20. I think I paid 10 bucks for it because the lady was really set on getting rid of it, but there you can see how you build them together. And there's so many different designs, and it's pretty much like my one daughter said, it's like Lego, but like real size. So they can build their own blanket forts and all sorts of other things. So back here we just have some hooks that the girls use. This is my oldest daughter's bag she takes to church, and they just kind of use it as a storage space for tote bags and things like that. And then going underneath of this entire area, we've got a trash can, which is a must. I actually picked this up at Walmart, a couple bucks. I'm like, need a trash can in this space. Extra chairs, if they have friends up here, they can use that, or we can grab those for downstairs in our dining room. They're just nice stools. They're from IKEA. Most of this stuff is from IKEA except for this long desk. I can leave that linked below. That's from Amazon. And then here is the art cart, which you guys saw. And we've got a baby bunk bed back in here. And then this tall hamper right here that you see that's kind of a metal grate, that holds their stuffed animals. And I think it has a baby car seat in it, like some larger pieces, just to keep them tucked away so the floor is mostly emptied off. And these plants up here, the stuffed plants and the real ones, are actually my oldest daughter's. And so she tends to water them and take care of them. She really enjoys plants like her mom. And then if you guys watch my main channel, we went to Costco the other week and found these stuffed plants at Costco. So cute. And the fact that we have three girls and there's three of them is just too adorable. All right, so like I said, I love making spaces cozy in my house. So that way, even if it's a rainy, dreary day, we're still cozy inside and happy and able to enjoy our home. Even on snowy days, we live in central Pennsylvania, so we're battling some winter blues sometimes in the dead of January and February. So making extra special lighting in our rooms is something that I have really loved for a long time, and I feel like the more time goes on, the more I find ways to stick lighting in different places. So along with the lamps that I can adjust the lighting in the room, I also got these twinkle lights. I will leave the link for these because it took me a minute to find them. They're not battery operated. Most twinkle lights are battery operated, and I was able to find some that you can plug in with a USB and a little plug box. It works out great. And I decided to go ahead and string these in between the live vines that I have coming off of this shelf. You can actually buy fake faux vines with lights in them like this, but we got the real thing here, so I just went ahead and wound it around. It's on a little wire, so it's really easy to place the lights where you want them. And then on the other side of the room, I went ahead and did the same thing around the bookshelf, and the girls were so thrilled with these little lights. It just brought such a cozy, inviting atmosphere to this space. And we can turn the brightness up on the light bulbs in the lamps if they want to have the lamps on to be doing some sort of activity. It's just really flexible for whatever we want. I hope today's video really inspired you all in some way, shape, or form. Let me know in the comments what you're working on this week in your home, what's your focus right now. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can join my channel here that has to do with everything home, and I will see you all in my next video.